Hello, I'm Jeff Brown from Seattle Public Utilities' Engineering Records Vault. And in this video, I'll be demonstrating how to search for engineering records in the City of Seattle's public repository of engineering records, Seattle Digital Infrastructure Records, affectionately known as CDER. Engineering records are the most requested records in the Vault's collection. They're also the most complex. This demonstration will cover using the map search tool to find these records, adding additional helpful metadata filters to map searches, including improvement type and date, and using asterisks and wildcards will be covered. The basic outline for searching for engineering records using the map search tool is similar to other record categories. Locate and open the map search tool. Enter an address or navigate to an area of interest. Draw a rectangle or polygon boundary. Add a metadata filter, in this case for record category, must contain, engineering records, as seen below. Then click Search and browse through the results. The default view that is loaded anytime a user logs into CDER is the list view. Different views can be chosen, but by clicking the drop-down towards the top right of the screen. We can see here that the list view is enabled because the icon looks like a bulleted list. Click this drop-down, scroll down to Map, and click Map to select the Map Search tool. The first time a map is loaded for any user, the view is zoomed out to encompass the entire globe. Once records are accessed, the map will be centered over recently accessed artifacts, just like in this view. A quick way to zoom into the City of Seattle is to use the Fly to Address feature. This button is on the left-hand side of the map view, second from the bottom. Click it and input an address or an intersection of interest. In this case, I'll use Madison and Broadway and hit enter. This will fly the map straight to that intersection and drop a pin there. Next, it's useful to draw a boundary around the area of interest. Boundary drawing tools are located in the right-hand side of the map view. The two options are to add a rectangle boundary or a polygon boundary. Click the corner point that you'd like to start a rectangle at, and then drag to the end and let off the mouse. This will draw the rectangle over your area of interest. In this case, rectangle might not be that useful to examine Madison Street because it runs diagonally. To delete an active polygon, look for the Remove Boundary button that shows up at the bottom of the draw tools once an extent or polygon is active. The pop-up will ask if you would like to remove the current spatial boundary. In this case, we do. To draw a polygon, select the Add Polygon Boundary. Click to drop corners or vertices at the extent that you wish to draw a polygon. There's no limit to the number of vertices that you can add to the map. To cancel drawing a polygon, at any point while drawing it, move back over to the draw tools and click the Cancel Drawing button. To complete drawing a polygon, connect the last vertice with the first point to close the shape. Before clicking the search button, I'm going to add a metadata filter for the engineering records category. To add filters, click into the main search bar to open up the filter dropdown. This is done by just clicking straight into the middle of the search bar. The record category metadata field is under the metadata filter. So select metadata from the filter dropdown, which then defaults to record category. Record category is perhaps the most useful filter as it divides the content in CDER into the largest categories. I'll select engineering records and then click search. There are 29 artifacts, or in this case, engineering records that intersect that have been georeferenced as intersecting or falling within the polygon that has been drawn. Now all that's left to do is to browse the results. Results can be browsed in the search result pane on the left-hand side of the screen. You can also see the extent or the area that each record has been georeferenced to by clicking the scope icon next to the record. This zooms to the record and highlights it in magenta. Quite a large one. Zoom back in. To open up any of the records, one can click the number, the highlighted blue number, to open up the artifact view from the search results pane. Records can also be browsed by clicking on an area of interest or a line segment of interest. By clicking this segment of 10th Avenue, all of the records that have been georeferenced to this segment of 10th Avenue become available in this bottom pane towards the center of the map view. There are 13 records that have been georeferenced to this segment of 10th Avenue and that also intersect the polygon that we drew. To scroll through and browse these records, click the previous and next buttons that appear in the bottom right of this pane. To open up any of these records, click the Details link that will open up the artifact view. We can zoom into the artifact by clicking the plus symbol or by choosing a zoom percentage. Records can be rotated by clicking the image and then pressing the R button on your keyboard. This will rotate the record clockwise, which is useful if you want to place the north arrow straight up. We can also expand the artifact view space by collapsing the metadata pane on the right-hand side by clicking the toggle sidebar button. The metadata pane holds information such as the date published, built date, project numbers, improvement types, and other metadata that has been attached to these plans over the years. Toggle the sidebar and get a little bit more space. We can also remove the title area and expand the image size one more time by clicking Toggle Expand, which appears in the bottom right corner of the artifact view. Going back to our search, perhaps 29 artifacts are too many to sort through. One way to make it easier to browse in the left-hand pane is to sort by title, number, or relevance to the search terms that we've put in. I had a sort by number already entered, and we can change between ascending or descending by selecting the same filter again. Now we're back to ascending. Another way to reduce the number of results from a search are to add more search filters. Adding a search filter has 4 basic steps. Select the kind of filter that you'd like to add. Select the metadata field to filter by. Select the search modifier or optionality, and then input the value to search by. Going back to our original search. To add a filter, as we did before, click into the main search bar to open up the filter dropdown. In this filter, we're going to see what kind of improvement that a plan or a project constructed. So, under metadata, choosing the metadata filter type, we'll search the metadata field improvement type or paving plans. There are 15 plans that have been tagged as containing some sort of paving component in the area that we searched in the engineering records category. Filters can be combined using different options. In this case, we're looking for improvement type must contain paving. Must contain tells the search engine that all results must contain the option specified. Combining multiple filters with must contain tells the search engine to match all conditions in every result. Should contain, among multiple filters, tells the search engine that either filter would be acceptable to match. Let's test in a few different searches. Improvement type must contain contains 15 artifacts. That means there are 15 artifacts that have a paving component. We can add a similar filter by clicking the plus button next to the filter we just set up. So let's search for plans in this area that have been tagged as containing paving components and that have been tagged as including a profile. You can search any value in a filter dropdown or value dropdown by clicking the dropdown and then typing. So we're going to look for plans that must contain paving and must contain a profile. In this area, in the record category of engineering records, there are 6 total artifacts. We can then change the options to should contain paving and should contain a profile. In this case, it will match all plans that have paving and all plans that have profile, whereas in the current setup, only plans with paving and profile in the same plan are being matched or returned. By searching should contain, we expand the results to 18 artifacts. So in summary, must contain in the search optionality field adds conditions to be matched, which automatically reduces the number of possible results, whereas should contain adds possible match conditions, increasing the number of results. Another useful filter is the date filter. Some of the records in CDER exist for plans that have not yet been completed or are still under construction. For this reason, it is useful to search by the date published field. To search the metadata filter dropdown, we can click the arrow next to it and type date. There are many different types of dates represented in CDER. We're after date published. Let's find engineering records in this area that have been tagged as containing a paving component and were published in the 2020s. To do this, we type 202 and then asterisk. An asterisk acts as a wildcard. It communicates to the search engine that any value following 202 would be acceptable. The result of this search shows plans for the Madison Bus Rapid Transit Project, which is currently still underway at the time of recording this video. Using wildcards is the easiest way to search for wide date ranges. These plans were all published in the 1990s. Whereas these were published almost 100 years earlier. There we go. Several other useful metadata filters exist, such as permit number, project number, and many, many more. These metadata filters are all in the metadata option. We could also select a different kind of filter, such as a filter by title, by again clicking the plus button next to a filter we've created, and then clicking the filter type dropdown. Let's search for engineering records in this area that have the word Madison in the title. Excellent. We can search for search across multiple metadata fields by typing it into the main search bar. I'm going to remove the title filter by clicking the X and search paving across multiple metadata fields. And we get the same 15 artifacts as it is searching primarily the improvement type field. We open any artifact in this search and open the metadata pane, we should see improvement type paving, which is what the search engine is locating when it returns these results. In summary, engineering records are best searched by combining map searches with metadata categories, metadata filters. You can also add date filters and keyword searches. If you have any questions or encounter any issues, please contact SEADIR SUPPORT, that's CDER support at seattle.gov, or use the help chat tool located in the top right corner of CDER, which looks like little thought bubbles. Thank you and happy researching.